Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. The $1 billion fight. Canelo versus Crawford. One thing we know for a fact, Canelo's getting $150 million. Crawford, rumor is $100 million. Somebody said $50 million. Hey, look, Bob Marley, I didn't shoot the sheriff. All I can do is go with the things that I'm finding online and the things I'm hearing the fighters say, questions interviewers ask, and I also watch the nonverbals from fighters when they don't want to answer a question, but they just show off 32 teeth. And that's what Crawford did when he was asked about the $100 million. But the bottom line is this. Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. This is what you call highly anticipated. Some would say taking it to the stupid fight, but I don't think that. Because I recognize that many of the fans feel Terence Crawford doesn't stand a chance. And they think, oh, Hood Champion over here is delusional. I've heard that I don't know anything about boxing. I'm just picking Crawford because he's, a black fighter. I've heard all kind of stuff in the comments, and it's all good. We're not going to agree. But remember, I preface everything I say about this fight as Canelo should be the favorite, right? And I'm telling you he should be the favorite. I just think, like many others, even Robert Garcia, who's Mexican, he picks Crawford to beat him. So look, stop with all the nonsense, Mick Nicholas, and all you seagulls flying into the comments, dropping shit off. If you want to argue, how about this? Since you think it's someone is picking Crawford based on race, how about this, man? I'm not even black. I'm Chinese. So if you want to argue, go argue with Robert Garcia. And my great-great-great-great-grandfather come from Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico too. So viva Mexico, viva El Negro, and viva China. So there you go. Anyway, man, this undisputed super middleweight title, man, it is going to be on. In case you didn't know, it's going to be streaming on Netflix, man. The venue hasn't been determined, but it's supposed to be taking place on September 13th. And, shockingly enough, the CEO of the UFC, Dana White, he came from underneath his rock. And it's just letting everybody know, look, man, I'm still here working with Turki Al-Sheikh, and I'm going to be promoting the fight. But I'm going to tell you, man, there are a lot of people out here who feels that Terence Crawford's going to win. Now, Eddie Hearn just happens to be one of them. But for those who are saying that Eddie Hearn doesn't know anything about Canelo Alvarez and what Canelo Alvarez can do, remember, man, Eddie Hearn's Matchroom Boxing promoted, like 6 of Canelo's recent contests and multiple Crawford fights. But you gotta understand, with Turki Al-Sheikh getting Dana White involved, this is what they're trying to make as the fight of the century, or the biggest fight in the last 10 years. It's happening in America. So there's a reason why Eddie Hearn's not involved. But even though Eddie Hearn's not really involved with the fight, I don't think Eddie Hearn is just trying to be malicious or vindictive or spiteful to Canelo by coming out and picking Crawford to beat him. You know what I'm saying? I think even Eddie Hearn knows from a financial perspective, you got to look at Turki Al-Sheikh, who's bankrolling the event, and the decisions he's making to make this the biggest event possible. So he wants all the right key players and decision makers working alongside him. Eddie Hearn is not that. For the UK, that's an easy call. Eddie Hearn, Frank Warren. Simple. That's a no-brainer. But when it comes to the States, look, Dana has a much bigger profile in America than Eddie Hearn. So the move makes sense to everyone. But what I will tell you is the Alvarez and Crawford promotion machine is already in full flow. All right? Now, what I want to see, now this is just for me, when they start doing a multi-city press conference tour schedule, cross-promotion ongoing from the UFC and WWE fighters, look, and even the podcast, right? They're going to have Canelo and Crawford on all these different platforms You're gonna see them being intermingled and intertwined with platforms that we would have never thought. Because Turkey Al-Sheikh, again, you gotta look at who he's working with, who he's paying, and the end goal, which is to make this the biggest fight in the history of boxing. But I want to see how Canelo and Crawford are going to act. They could be like Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, how they were in the beginning. They were friendly, then it turned real nasty. I know Canelo, I know Crawford. Both of them dudes are temperamental. Once somebody starts talking about who's better than the other and shit like that, they all the smiling and showing the 32 teeth and all the friendliness, that shit's going to go out the window. But what I will tell you is, for Eddie Hearn, he's already come out here and said, look, I'm watching the Williams Skull fight just like a lot of us, and he understands that Crawford's opening up as a slight underdog, but he favors Crawford, who's a smaller man, to come in there and clip, the biggest star in boxing. And there's some people who just don't like that, but again, everyone, like myself, is looking at Canelo's recent performances and his aging body. You know what I'm saying? Canelo's a bad boy. But I'm telling you, man, even these guys who supposedly know boxing better than you and I are picking Crawford to beat him. Now, that Williams School fight, man, that was something where you can't really blame Canelo for not being able to catch up to School, because School ran that fight. But I'm telling you this. He just didn't look motivated to myself. He didn't look motivated to Hearn. He didn't look motivated to Robert Garcia. He didn't look motivated to anybody. Now, De La Hoya is picking Crawford to win, but we all know De La Hoya don't give a shit about Canelo. But if Canelo Alvarez isn't motivated, and what I mean by that means like willing to really come out there and throw the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 punch combinations we got used to seeing him throw when he was much younger. This single, one shot, maybe 2, 3 punch combinations, but his feet have to be set. The opponent has to be right in front of him. Canelo's going to have a tough time because Crawford's going to be turning that guy. He's going to be turning that guy. He's going to be using lateral movement. Crawford has longer arms. And Canelo, I'm just telling you, man, if you go off Eddie Hearn, he's saying, look, he may lose. He wasn't able to engage people. That's a problem. And I don't think it's because Canelo didn't want to. I think School had a lot to do with it, running around the damn ring. But I just think Canelo, I just think he wasn't able to get the engagements that he needed and cut the ring off that he needed. So School could have probably done 20 rounds of running around that damn ring. But one thing for sure is Canelo feels like he's going to win the fight. But I'm just telling you, for me, where Canelo is at this point in his career, I just think that Crawford, and so does Eddie Hearn, he feels Crawford's going to win the fight. He said before he felt Canelo was just a huge favorite just because of the size of him. But he said when he's being fair to himself, and he said he even told Canelo, you know what I'm saying? You just weren't able to engage. And he told Canelo you didn't look motivated. So he's coming out now saying the same thing, and even Robert Garcia said it. He's like, look, man, this is a fight for pound supremacy and legacy, and it's going to be a great fight when they meet, but he feels Crawford's going to beat him. See, boxers know, man. You know, we as boxing fans, we have an idea too, but I've been watching Canelo for a long time, just like most of y'all, and I can see that he's not the same fighter. Matter of fact, just go watch Canelo against James Kirkland. Watch him against El Perro. You go watch that. Go watch those fights. Watch him against Miguel Cotto. You can see in that fight, Miguel Cotto wasn't the same because he was older. But look at the combination Canelo was throwing. Look at him now, how he fights. It's the same thing. So anyway, we'll see what happens, man. I'm gonna tell you what I'm the most interested in is this damn undercard they're trying to put together. Turkey Al-Sheikh is out here trying to not put on a huge supporting cast for the fight, but he's trying to get 9 of boxing's next big stars including world champion Junto Nakatani, to fight on the card. Now, there's some names that he kind of threw out there as far as young, hungry fighters who he feels deserve to perform under the bright lights. And he's like, Nakatani, Mbili, Muhammad Alakel, Rachel Sutsumi, Justin Floria, Emiliano Alvarado, Jamar Talley, Abdullah Mason, a name you guys should know, and Nishant Dev. Now, the thing is, out of all those names, you guys probably only know a couple, but what I'm saying is, Turki Al-Sheikh is trying to introduce us to the next generation of fighters who he feels is going to help to transcend the sport. And also, there's a reason why you're not seeing huge names on here, because he knows those guys aren't hungry. These names he's mentioned, he knows they're hungry. Those guys are going to fight. They're going to fight hard. Those other guys who have millions of dollars, he ain't wasting the time. Like Turki Al-Sheikh came out in the post talking about he don't want no more Tom and Jerry fighters. Not with the kind of money he's paying them. They're not going to get in the ring and stink up the venue. So I'm glad that Turki Al-Sheikh is drawing the line in the sand. Some people are saying that Turki Al-Sheikh has run out of money. That's the most ridiculous thing I think I've ever heard as far as in reference to Turki Al-Sheikh. They print their own money. They have trillions in the sovereign wealth fund. Believe you me, Turki Al-Sheikh ain't running out no damn money, man. Anyway, let's see what happens. I think a lot of people are getting it right to look at Crawford more as at least have a making it a 50-50 fight. I think it's fair. We won't know until they fight, right? And look, for all of y'all who are crystal balling it and shit and feel that you guys have the answers, and you'll hold your horses and stop taking it to the stupid, man. It's going to be a huge spectacle. I can't wait to see it. I don't know if it's going to surpass what Floyd and Pacquiao did. I doubt that. Turki Al-Sheikh has all the money in the world to try to build it up, but I don't think it'll ever achieve what the anticipation, man, and the money and everything like Floyd and Manny Pacquiao. Those guys made so much money in that fight from pay-per-view. You know what I'm saying? Crawford and Canelo getting paid from a sovereign wealth fund, so we'll see how the pay-per-view does. But I just don't see it doing nothing like what Floyd and Manny Pacquiao did pay-per-view-wise. Some guys did, several millions in pay-per-view. You know what I mean? Sales, not dollars. I'm talking about how many people bought the event. It's ridiculous. That shit ain't being broken no time soon. Anyway, y'all keep cool. You'll be fair about the fight. Canelo should be the favorite, but there's a reason why a lot of people are now saying that Terence Crawford not only has a good chance to win, they're picking him to win the fight. Nobody's talking about only people talking about Crawford and Madrimov, and he didn't knock out Madrimov. The only people talking about that shit are the people who are picking Canelo to win. You know what I'm saying? You got people out here who are qualified, who got a boxing eye, and they're sitting there telling you, something don't look right with Canelo. They're sitting there telling you, something just don't look right. And they expect Crawford to really get in there and get that win. Anyway, I'm going to tell you like I've always said, I'm going to remain consistent. I think Canelo should be the favorite. But again, I just have a feeling the direction all this is going. And with more and more people starting to say, hey, the things we're seeing there, as far as Canelo may not be able to pull that trigger. And as the longer the fight goes on, the worse it's going to be for Canelo as far as his chances on winning. I tend to agree with that. Y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.